together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports, and it's brought to you by Everwood Treatment Company, the official treated lumber of Alabama athletics. Everwood, wood treated right. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. Alabama women's basketball fell in its regular season finale on Sunday at Oklahoma. Here are our post-game thoughts from the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Christy Curry.
It's just really hard. We've got to do a better job. That's where those 3 injured down there really hurt us, I think. We didn't have enough depth today. Oklahoma's really deep and big and physical, grown women, and credit them. They were able to make some plays. But I'm so proud of the team. I'm proud of what we're doing. I still think with Tennessee's loss today at home that we still have an opportunity to host and be a top 4 seed. So we just continue to go into the SEC tournament and play well. And we got every opportunity in front of us still. Disappointed for our kids because they battled and played really hard today in a really tough environment.
Yeah, how excited are you to get to Greenville and have the potential to go on a really good run starting on Thursday night?
Yeah, just excited to be able to take a deep breath, get home, get some rest tomorrow, get our bags packed, because we'll leave here pretty quick and enjoy the experience of tournament time and get ready for postseason.
I'll have more in a moment.
Producing championship quality lumber is not an easy process, but at Everwood Preserving, it's our only process. Wood treated right. Everwood offers top-notch pressure-treated wood for decks, outdoor structures, commercial jobs, and more that you can build your reputation on. When it comes to quality, we're on the winning team. Visit your local Everwood dealer today and discover the difference for yourself. Everwood Preserving Incorporated, the official lumber of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
We've got you covered tonight for Alabama baseball at Jacksonville State. First pitch is coming up at 6 p.m. Central, with our coverage on the network starting at 5:45 p.m. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Everwood. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And there you go. We're back, we're live, and of course, as always, we're brand new. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond, welcome in on a Tuesday morning show. Safe travels into work, into school, wherever you may be headed, and safe travels later today. It's a weather-aware day, so stay safe out there. It's also, by the way, Happy Fat Tuesday, everybody. That's right. Today is Fat Tuesday. And Mardi Gras is kicking off, and I mean it's going on full swing. And I did not know this until a couple days ago. I did not know what the colors of Mardi Gras actually mean: the purple, the green, and the gold.
I was going to say I would have left off the green, but I knew it was purple and gold.
Purple, green, and gold. The green. Purple, by the way, symbolizes it's just green. It's green. The purple symbolizes justice, royalty, creativity, and spirituality.
Okay.
The green represents faith, life, health, and vitality. And the gold illustrates the power of God and power in general.
Right.
So that is the purple, the green, and the gold. And that is, of course, all in celebration for Mardi Gras and all that. But happy Fat Tuesday, everybody. Talent Heating and Air helping us get this show started this morning. Give them a call, 256-503-4490. Let them put their talent to work for you. They service Huntsville and surrounding areas. They offer solutions to fit your needs. They got package systems, heat pumps, mini split systems. Just get in touch with them. It's Talent Heating and Air. Again, let them put their talent to work for you, 256-503-4490. And speaking of talent, if you have not watched North Alabama basketball play, they have talent. And they have lots of talent. And last night, Jakari Lane put on a show inside CB&S Bank Arena as North Alabama just blows up Austin Peay last night, 90-69, your final score. So the second seed Lions move on in the ASUN tournament. How about Jakari Lane? 31 points, 9 of 13 shooting, 7 of 8 from behind the arc. He was 1 point short of a career high last night. He set that against Samford back in November. But 5 Lions in double figures. Tay Fields among those, 12 and 10 respectively. So Tay Fields 12 points. But the Lions cruised last night. Boy, did they look good.
Yeah, they did. 30 points for Jakari Lane, 90-64 win. The Gubs in their season 14-19. But it looks like UNA is going to march on. The semifinals will be Thursday, as they'll get a couple of days off today and Wednesday to prepare and stay at CB&S, bank, and they'll be at home in the semifinals. And so that's big for them, no question about it. You win the semifinal, you play on Championship Sunday. You're on ESPN2, national television. So one win away for the UNA Lions for playing for a spot in the bracket, man. So great job by Jakari. You know, he's making a strong case for ASUN Player of the Year with that 30 ball and the 7 threes that he hit last night. Just an unbelievable performance from a guy, you know, that I think is one of the best mid-major players in all of college basketball. And certainly they seem to be on a collision course with Lipscomb. Lipscomb certainly gave John Shulman one last night.
Yeah, they pretty much handle.
Well, we'll give Shulman and them credit. I mean, Central Arkansas, they were down 30 plus and came back and continued to battle.
They were, and it was, look, it's a tall task. It's a tall task to come out there and have to win 84-60. Let's see here. No, Monday, March 3rd. I think it
was the final score was 84-66.
84-66. I was looking at it going, that's way too many games. But the good news is Eastern Kentucky got beat last night.
They did. They got upset by Jacksonville. So,
yep.
And so that would knock Eastern Kentucky out. Eastern Kentucky finishes 18-14. They had been, we had Lenny Acuff on a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
At that point, they had won 8 in a row and had just beaten Lipscomb. They were one of the hottest teams in the league. But again, you got to give Jacksonville a lot of credit. They are also a good ball club. They're 19-13. So it'll be a couple of good matchups. I think UNA is going to face Queens.
Actually, UNA will face Jacksonville.
Oh, it will be Jacksonville.
Because they reseed it every round.
Oh, okay.
And so Jacksonville now is the...
Oh, you mean they actually do something the AHSAA should do? They reseed it after every round instead of acting like it's an archaic thing you never change, right? Unless it's an oblong football.
Well, see, and here's the thing. Everybody thinks that the NCAA controls the college football playoffs. The NCAA has nothing to
They
do with
control
college
the
football
NCAA
playoffs.
tournament, the basketball
That's
tournament.
it. That's
They don't control
thing.
football at all.
Nope. The College Football Playoff Committee is the one that controls college football. The NCAA, the only thing that they do with college football is tell you a player can play or can't play.
Right. That's it. That's it. That's why we were getting all over the Big Ten. I mean, the College Football Committee for setting up the Big Ten. I mean, the College Football Playoff to win it last year.
Because they are the ones that control that. The NCAA has nothing to do with college football as far as the playoffs go. They have zero to do it. It's all with the College Football Playoff Committee. This is the NCAA's biggest moneymaker is the college basketball tournament. The television rights, everything that they throw at it, this is where they make their hay. But yes, Lions get Jacksonville on Thursday for the semifinal round. And then you're right, Sunday at 1:00 would be the championship game.
So Queens will face Lipscomb on the road.
Yep. Queens has to travel to Nashville, which is not far. Charlotte to Nashville is not far.
And Queens came back last night. They were trailing and did a nice job coming back and getting the dub on the road at Florida Gulf Coast.
Yep. So. Queens 71-65 winners over Florida Gulf Coast. Remember, Florida Gulf Coast a couple years ago were the tournament darlings.
As a 15 seed. That's right. They were the doctors of dunk, basically.
Yep. All right. So
Andy Edenfield was the coach. He's now at SMU after he left the crap hole known as Los Angeles. Got tired of LeBron James' son and other bull crap. Went to SMU and is now in the ACC of all places. And they're actually on the bubble, probably the wrong side of it due to strength of schedule. Probably going to have to make a deep run. I'm assuming it's in Greensboro. But they're going to have to make a deep run in the ACC
I'm not
tournament.
seeing
Probably
where it's at, but I assume that's where it's at. And you speak of said SEC or the NCAA tournament. Joe Lunardi, kind enough to release his stuff right after our show yesterday, and said, "Here you go, guys. Here's my latest bracketology for you to use, and your last 4 buys. I don't know how this is possible. I didn't know how it was possible on Sunday when he had him at last 4 in, but now he has him in a last 4 buy. He has Arkansas in there as a last 4 buy."
Not for long because they're fixing to lose 2 in a row and go home.
Baylor, San Diego State, and Nebraska, your 4 teams there. Your last 4 in, Oklahoma, Indiana, Ohio State, and Texas. And then,
I don't know. I don't have a lot of confidence in Oklahoma or Texas. Now, where the hell's Georgia?
They're first 4 out.
They just beat the hell out of Texas on the road. Hello, Joe. Hello. Head-to-head's supposed to count. Don't copy the College Football Big Ten Committee.
That's authority.
Pissing me off this morning.
Oh, we don't want that.
No. Especially when your headset doesn't work.
Your next 4 out, we'll get it to work We'll get it to work here. Your next 4 out, Wake Forest, SMU, to your point, Cincinnati and Villanova. Those are your next 4 out.
Cincinnati is
last
awful.
4 out. Your number 1 teams, Auburn still the overall number 1 seed. Duke slides into the number 1. Houston, a number 1. And this is yesterday's bracket. No, wait a minute. This is not yesterday's bracket. This is why everything is all messed up. But see, today's Tuesday. He releases this on Mondays.
He usually releases it on Tuesday.
Yep. Well, you're right.
Every Tuesday,
Forget everything I said. It don't mean a damn thing.
I think he did release something.
He did release something on yesterday, and that's why I was like, how did he move Arkansas up? Because Arkansas was in that last 4 out section. But anyway, he does have Alabama as a 2 seed right now.
Yes, so Florida's 1 as well.
Here is something to keep in mind, and this is something interesting. Since the NCAA tournament has expanded in 1985, 25 of the 39 national championships have been won by a 1 seed and 5 by a 2 seed. 13 of the past 17 title winners have come from the top line.
Well, and then we also had a guest, one of our listeners asking us, who was listening this morning as we were going over the A-Sun, since the A-Sun is well underway now. And as we set the table for you, UNA hosting will host Jacksonville at the bank at the CBNS Arena. They'll host them on. I don't know if they've announced the game times yet. As of last night, they had not. But they will face Jacksonville, and then, as we said, Lipscomb will face Queens. Those will both be on the same day. They'll both be on Thursday, and then listener wants to know if UNA is going to be in the NIT if they don't win to go to the big dance. So, very likely, yes. Now, I don't think it's not set in stone, but it's close to being.
Your game times are 6:00 on Thursday for UNA and 7:00 for Lipscomb.
Okay,
now,
so not concurrent, but close.
Now, the one thing we know is Lipscomb will be in the NIT. They've already,
and if they're not in the NCAAs, but this is UNA. So,
yes. So
I think UNA would have if they make the finals, I think they would have a very strong chance, considering they were co-champs with Lipscomb. If Lipscomb goes on to the NCAA tournament, that UNA, who's been in the CBI and things of that nature, but I think it would be UNA's first NIT bid,
right?
And they would have a strong chance to beat it
because Lipscomb, because they got the number 1 seed,
right?
The NIT views Lipscomb as the A-Sun champion.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And because their whatever number was high enough, I forget what it is, they got the automatic NIT bid.
Probably Ken Palm, something of that nature. I don't really know how they evaluate it now, but I just know that one very likely ends up in the big dance, and then the other ends up in the NIT. So the A-Sun should have a couple representatives,
right,
as long as they both hold serve and get to the championship game. Both of them are going to need to win, I think.
And I think they're definitely in the right. I think both of them clearly have separated themselves as the two best teams in the A.
Yeah, they have. I mean, they have home court for a reason, and certainly Queens is a good team. Queens got 18 wins. I believe they're 18-13 right now. And we already talked about Jacksonville. I think they got their 19th win. So they're two solid teams. You still got to take care of business, but you've earned the home court advantage in these situations in this tournament. And as Lenny Acuff told us a couple weeks ago, this is the last year they're doing it on home floors. They're gonna be going to a neutral floor kind of environment, but still, both UNA and Lipscomb are in strong spots.
They call it the NIT score. The KNIT score.
Okay.
They call it the
KNIT.
NIT score. Yeah,
And
they said with the regular season championship and their NIT score, they have secured the automatic bid to the NIT tournament. So I don't know what UNA's NIT score is. I've tried to look at a couple days ago. I tried to look for the NIT scores.
I mean, all I know is they split with Lipscomb. They're co-champions. Lipscomb won one of the tiebreakers to get if they play each other, to get home court advantage for the championship game.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think they've both earned the opportunity, one to go on to the field of 68 and the other one to go on to the NIT and represent the league.
All right. So what did you think? I mean, as far as the number 1 seeds go, okay, I tell you what, let's get a break in. 7:15. When we come back, we'll talk NCAA basketball, all kinds of stuff. 7:15. Let's get our first break in here in the morning. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We should be back to a clean slate now. We had a couple of fire units on a vehicle fire, 600 block of 10th Avenue in Decatur. That one should be pretty well wrapped up now. Officers, construction workers, and first responders put their lives on the line every time they step on the roadway. You can make it safer for them. Slow down or move over. It's the law. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Eagle Masonry and Insulation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Rocket City, for air that's cool and clean, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Get HVAC smart with Professor Green and the expert team at sensagreen.com. Now offering up to $1,500 off any new Bryant system. Whatever it takes, Sensa Green has Huntsville covered. Remember, folks, with innovative, sensible green solutions, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
Hey, do you have heating and air issues as the springtime starts to roll around? Hey, there's just one name you need to know. Talent Heating and Air. #1 heating and air business right here in the Tennessee Valley.
Yeah, we're locally based. If you call, you're going to get somebody based in Huntsville. Mentioned in spring earlier, we can actually do indoor air quality products, so we can help alleviate those allergy problems you're having in your house.
All right, Thomas from Talent Heating and Air, give them the number that when they call, somebody live and local will pick up.
That's 256-503-4490.
And you can always head to the World Wide Web and find Talent Heating and Air, and you guys will still respond.
That's talenthvac.com. If you don't want to talk to a person right away, you can fill out a form on there and get scheduled for a visit.
That's Talent Heating and Air. They're live, they're local. It's Talent Heating and Air.
AL certain number 21014.
This is Steve Moulton for Lee's Magic Tunnel. Do you live out of your car? Does your car look like you've been well lived in? Then take your vehicle to Lee's Magic Tunnel, located on the Parkway. Any size of the vehicle, it doesn't matter. Lee's will get it clean. Offering many types of washes, but getting it clean inside and out. Ask for the manager special. That's at Lee's Magic Tunnel, located on the Parkway, and located online at leesmagictunnel.com for more information.
We cover all the SEC schools, including Western Union and Venmo.
I want money.
You know, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, 7:19 on a Tuesday morning. Remember several months ago when everybody was basically saying Clemson and Florida State are headed out of the ACC and they're going to have to go somewhere and they don't want to be there and all this other good stuff.
Yeah.
You can forget about all that.
Okay.
They're not going anywhere.
Okay.
They're not going anywhere anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
Because today it is expected that both Florida State and Clemson will finalize a settlement that'll allow them to buy back the years of their media grants right and allow for defections from the conference earlier than the 2036 timeframe. Well, maybe they are, but
I read it. The way I look at it, you know, they might be able to get out of there a few years earlier, maybe by 2032. But the bottom line is that would be within 7 years or so.
Right. And they're expected today to ratify a settlement that'll introduce uneven revenue share.
Clemson and Florida State are going to get a bigger piece of the pie.
Yes.
But see, you have to be wanted by someone else to leave. And right now, I don't think the SEC is interested in either one of them, and neither is the Big Ten. So their next best option would probably be the other Power Four, which is the Big 12. That's unknown. So that's why they're having this settlement. You have to be wanted by somebody else. The SEC doesn't need either one of these people. I mean, Florida State, they've already got the Gators.
Right.
They don't need Miami either. Notice how you don't hear them saying Miami because nobody wants them.
Well, but you know what though? Miami, I don't think has said anywhere that they want to go anywhere.
Well, they would if somebody would take them, but
Right.
I think they understand where they're at. I mean, they don't have a football stadium. They have to bus 2 students to games because that's usually how many are on the bus, considering how much they suck at times and how interested they are in college football. I mean, they don't have a huge following, in my opinion. I mean, when you have 3 buses of students and then the buses leave with nobody, that's when you're trying to bus them 45 minutes down the road and you're actually doing it for them. I mean, come on, man. Let's Miami can't get out of their own way. And then Florida State, I mean, they've got good athletics. There's no question about that. But this goes back to 1992 when Bobby Bowden took the easier path. He took the easier path to the ACC because back in those days, there was no college football playoff. It was voted on. And he thought it was going to be easier for his team, and because the SEC wanted them, but but he thought it'd be easier to win the ACC, go to the ACC, give away your independence, and then stay in the mix every year for the national championship, which worked. He won it the next year in '93. He won it in '99, the 2 times in his career. So it worked for Florida State at that time. But now the landscape has changed. But the SEC already has a foothold with Florida. In the league, and then we all know they have the SEC that same year took South Carolina, and they have South Carolina, so they don't need Clemson. So I mean,
you think this was the play? I mean, was this the play all along, just to get this split revenue share?
Well, they were going to do something. I mean, I think they started pushing for this once they realized, whoops. I mean, the SEC ain't coming to call. They're not trying to get us. They're trying to get Texas and Oklahoma. Once that was established, and I'm sure there was back channel communication, like, we'd really like to come to your league. Sorry, not interested. So, and then it would make so much sense for Florida for Florida State. But of course, it doesn't make any sense for damn Stanford and Cal to be in the ACC. But I mean, it makes so much sense for Florida State and Clemson to be in the Big Ten. I mean, the only people that would celebrate that would be the baseball playing schools, so they wouldn't be freezing their ass off. I still wonder what USC and UCLA are thinking about playing Rutgers, and it's 25 degrees.
Oh, they're probably cussing up a storm.
Yeah, and same way with softball. Like, this is great. We're playing a bunch of.
Let's go to Northwestern
schools.
and play in the middle of. On Lake Michigan when you got the cold lake air coming in.
I was watching those highlights last night in basketball. UCLA almost blew it at Northwestern. I'm sure Nick was enjoying. There's probably 5 degrees. They were going back to the bus.
Between him and Hurley at UConn, whining and complaining this year.
Yeah.
I mean, at least they have kept college basketball interesting.
Well, UCLA's rallied. I mean, Mick Cronin basically called his players a bunch of scrubs.
And then he's been complaining about the schedule and the fact that they have to travel this way and they have to do all this
stuff.
Their
university made that call. They decided that they wanted Oregon, Washington, UCLA, and USC to go to the Big Ten for more money. Because now, in those administrations' defense, I mean, they were being run by a bunch of morons. I mean, these were people that are stupider than Kevin Warren, who was running the Big Ten at one time, who now runs the Bears. And do the Bears suck, Scott?
Last check, yes.
They do suck because he sucks. But I mean, I'm just saying.
So Suckage just followed him from the Big Ten to the Chicago.
I mean, because he believed everything Dr. Dumbass was telling him. But I mean, who's a communist, by the way. But
what? Why did we?
But I mean, seriously though. I mean, that's. I said this when it happened when they made the decision for those 4 teams to go to the Big Ten. I knew why they did it. They did it because the Pac-12 was disintegrating. I mean, they're. I mean, good.
Well, their
Lord.
television rights deal, their money rights were really bad. Yes,
it was bad.
Yes.
I mean, everything that was being put together was horrible.
They were on a 2-lane road, and the rest of college athletics were on an interstate moving about 90.
All those teams on the West Coast did not want to disintegrate the Pac-12. They just wanted better leadership, and it didn't happen.
Yes,
and so they had to disintegrate.
Well, they were negotiating with Apple for a television rights.
And
deal.
then I still say the Big Ten did it in in response to the SEC because the SEC had already been ahead of them getting Oklahoma and Texas. And so they're like, well, we're going to go grab, the West Coast and get us a foothold there. But it's what I said, though. It was, I think, going to affect all those. Now they're the what you call the non-revenue sports.
Right.
But the baseball and stuff and softball and some of the volleyballs and stuff, even though volleyball's good in the Big Ten, though, but the baseball and the softball, it's really going to have an effect on it, I would think. Now, it might make it easier for you to make the NCAA tournament in a way because you can run roughshod through their leagues, but you also, your power ranking, as far as strength of schedule, is probably going to be hurt in some ways too. You'd have to load up and stay like you're in your pre-conference. You probably need to stay on the West Coast and play all your games on the West Coast and then roll out and then start going on the tour to 25 degrees.
Roll out.
Yeah, there you go. It's 25 degrees in New Jersey, playing in front of 5 people
and a cat.
Yeah. I mean, if what I've heard about some of the, facilities are true, I've heard some things about Maryland's baseball facilities and everything like that. And it's just, it ain't the Taj Mahal, son. That's
Look, there's a lot of Big Ten baseball facilities they're not anywhere close to what we have in the SEC.
They're probably not as good as what they got over at Huntsville High School, dude.
Some of them are. Some of them are decent.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I know your boys play baseball, but like for example,
but they don't play.
But Wisconsin doesn't even play.
No. Iowa State got rid of baseball.
Yeah,
just because of it didn't make any sense for them to have it.
Yeah, because of weather and
the investment and everything.
Yeah,
it just
didn't
make
no,
Northern Iowa dropped baseball.
Yeah.
Iowa is the only state school
that plays
to have baseball.
Right. That's right.
And it's just because a lot of it is the investment in it is not there.
Yeah.
They don't have it.
Well, and it's not surprising. They're gonna put their money into other things.
No, they do.
Well, I mean,
they need to put it into a buyout to get rid of Fran McCaffrey.
Well, no, but for example, for like Wisconsin, it's like hockey.
Oh, yes. Yeah. No, you're right.
Right.
You're right. Minnesota has hockey. Wisconsin has hockey.
Minnesota didn't drop baseball, though. I don't
think. They did. No. Well, because
they have Dave Winfield. They have some alums that are.
At one time, Minnesota had the best setup in the Big Ten because they could play in the Metrodome.
Right.
They could play indoors, and so it didn't matter anything like that. You could practice indoors, play indoors, and you were fine. I don't know what they do now.
Yeah.
All right, 7:30. Let's get a break in. When we come back, I tell you what, Alabama kicked off spring football. Let's check in with Kalen DeBoer when we return.
Why did you mute the video?
What video?
Alabama. They sent me practice video with no sound. I tried it on 15 different, platforms. There's no sound.
There is no sound?
I couldn't get any.
You have no sound. Let's see here. We have it on our YouTube page.
I looked on the Alabama football YouTube page.
Well, then if it's on the Alabama YouTube page, it's going to be exactly what we have.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
I had no sound last night, bro.
Let's make sure I'm connected. We are. Yeah. This is Alabama football video.
I thought my phone was screwed.
No, it's dead silent.
It's dead silent.
It's dead.
Because I knew it. Then I knew it because I clicked on the press conference, because Kalen DeBoer spoke to the media.
Yes, and we've got some of that for you.
And there was sound there.
There was.
You better at least be able to hear the coach take questions. But they just showed you some highlights with no sound.
But you can watch those highlights and you can listen to Kalen DeBoer if you want to. It's on our YouTube
People
page.
probably got me muted, especially Democrats.
God, you are just throwing it all over them today.
Yeah.
Let's get a break in. We will hear from Kalen DeBoer next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly clouded, overcast sky this afternoon. Going to be incredibly windy across the Tennessee Valley. A line of showers and thunderstorms is going to move through the Tennessee Valley this evening, and then as we head into the overnight, within that line of thunderstorms could be winds gusting 60 to 70 locally. Temperatures drop into the upper 40s, lower 50s as we head into the overnight, early into Wednesday morning. Otherwise, a mostly cloudy sky Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-50s, and once again, we are talking about some breezy conditions across the Tennessee Valley. A partly sunny sky on Thursday. Temperatures hanging out in the low 50s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Not a bad ride in this morning. I don't have anything accident-wise on the board. No stalls or traffic signal headaches. You be careful. We are dealing with a heavy traffic load. Do you need help with projects, leave coverage, maybe staff positions? Snelling can help with admin, business support, and accounting. Snelling, how the area's best companies hire talent. Huntsville.snelling.com. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Tuscaloosa, we live by the blue-collar basketball motto.
Stepping back, the 35 hard work. 2-on-1, driving, stepping through, top shot, got it to go. Teamwork. Play the song for the champions of the Southeastern Conference. Join us for every game right here on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
But you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Listen to UAH Charger basketball all season long.
So when we came out of the timeout, Coach Hedge had initially called a man play, and they ended up faking a zone. So the whole bench was yelling zone, zone, zone. So we tried to switch the play last second. We ended up getting confused. So Tommy swung it to me, and I initially was like, all right, I'm going to try and get to the rim right here. We're only down 2. We don't need a 3. And he flipped his hips real hard, and I crossed it back. And as soon as I let it go, I knew it was in.
Campbell to plug it in. 81-79 Union. Inbounds it goes. Dribbling it out. And Tommy Murr swings it over to Campbell. Campbell on the wing for the lead. Oh, my God! Blake Campbell! It's a 3! Into the front court for the win! No good! No good! No good! Blake Campbell with some onions from Jackson, Tennessee!
97.7 ESPN The Zone. We are your home for March Madness.
For a second straight year, Ivy Madness has come to March Madness. Yale upsets Auburn, and Yale is on to the second round.
We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Oh, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond, Alabama back on the practice fields for the first time yesterday. Spring football is upon us. And I think yesterday was more about finding out who's not going to be on the field for the spring versus who's actually going to be on the field for spring. A total of 8 guys not going to play this spring. Couple of them, Deontay Lawson, Keon Sabb, they are not going to go through spring drills because of injuries from the fall.
Yeah, that's no surprise. They've got several that are out that aren't going to be able to participate, and that's not surprising considering that they had so many hurt. A few that you didn't know tons about. I mean, one of the freshmen that's going to be out, the punter Alex Asparov. He's going to be out because he tore his ACL in the first game or whatnot of his senior season as the backup quarterback doing some kind of fake play. He tore his up, and so that's another reason why they took another punter from the School of Mines over there, and it's going to be competing to replace James Burnup. So
Colorado?
It's in Colorado.
Colorado School of Mines.
Yeah, Colorado School of Mines. It's a Division II program, and he averaged about 50-plus yards per punt, as you would expect in that altitude. He's a good player, but Alabama took him, and that's going to be one of the guys that competes for an open job. But Danny Lewis, didn't know about Danny Lewis until yesterday, as far as that he was going to miss the spring. And that's why you've seen some of the additions in this. If you go to the Alabama Football X account, now they've already changed one of those numbers, by the way. I don't know if they've updated it on the graphic, probably not, but they have had to update a number already of these freshmen, these newcomers. Jackson Lloyd is now, he was listed as 57 on this graphic they put out a couple days ago. Seems like years. But he's now 78. He's already switched to 78. But a couple of these guys you'll see, there's a kid, Jalen Hobson. He's originally from Hillcrest, Tuscaloosa High School. He's been on kind of a circuitous route. He was at Mississippi State. Then he was at South Alabama with Kane Womack. He has transferred to Alabama, but he was listed as an offensive lineman when he came out of high school and at South and at Mississippi State. But when I saw the number 48 on him, I was like, this is a Kendall Randolph situation. They're converting him to a blocking tight end because they just don't have a ton of guys numbers available right now. Danny Lewis is out. He's not going to be going through it. They've lost some guys to the transfer portal.
Jackson is out as
not
well.
Going through the spring either at corner, but Jalen Hobson will be a blocking tight end, and then there's another kid to watch out for. I believe he got number 86. Yeah, it's Peter Knudsen. He's a tight end from Weber State who was a multi-year starter there. He's nearly I think he's almost 24. I think he can almost get Social Security. He's an older dude, but he's coming in to compete at tight end just because it's a numbers game. You got to have enough guys to go through spring and give you looks, and who knows, could win a job, in the fall. But again, I think they envision Danny Lewis, and you mentioned Domani Jackson, you mentioned the Deontay Lawsons. What they're going to do is they envision all these guys, this handful of players, to be back all for fall camp. But a lot of them are going to be held out. And that's another reason spring games are changing, because you got to have guys available.
Well, and Caden Proctor is going to go through spring, but he is going to be very limited this spring. So that means you look along the offensive line. They were already thin in that offensive tackle spot. Now they get even thinner. But at the same time, too, it is spring football, and this is where you can kind of build a little bit of depth.
You can. I mean, you're especially along the offensive line, they're going to cross-train a lot of people, and it's going to give a lot of young players, including some transfers, a chance to like Cam Dewberry. Cam Dewberry, I told you yesterday, is going to be competing at left guard. He's a transfer from Texas A&M, no doubt about that. And then I'm going to try to do the best I can here, but Arkel Agnawam, he's the transfer from Ball State. He's going to compete at tackle because, like you just said, Caden Proctor not going to do anything really scrimmage-wise. He's going to have no contact. So it's going to give him guys like Wilkin Formby, who'll be going into their redshirt sophomore seasons, Dewberry, and even a guy like Gino Vandermark. Gino's been with the team a full year now, but he transferred from Michigan State. So all those guys are going to be able to compete and probably play multiple positions. I think we're fixing to have some comments from Kellen DeBoer, but Kellen DeBoer mentioned Ola Salinen is one of those guys who's done that, who has already will probably get some reps potentially at tackle, but definitely will at least play at both guard spots.
Well, Kalen DeBoer does have something that he wants to accomplish in the spring. Here's what he's hoping to get out of spring practice this year.
I think it's always about just continue to climb, continue to have progress, challenge the guys out there, either getting better or getting worse. It's individually, that's us collectively, it's your side of the ball. And so I think that's a good starting point, is which direction did you go, and I expect a great attitude, energy, effort, all that. It's always going to be that practice one. And I expect that every single practice. But there are some times where a guy, maybe it's coming back from, injury or, a rep that didn't go as well. We got to pick each other up. And that's to me, it's either you're going up or you're going down. And, that's what I'm always going to gauge it by, because in the end goal, it's to be our best and to be your best individually.
Continuing just to get better. I mean, that's
what you got to do in this, era of football, no doubt. And here's the rest of the list of guys that will be out. We already mentioned Asperov, and I think I'm getting better at that one. But David Byrd, he's considered a walk-on, but he will very likely be the long snapper. He came over from Cal Berkeley. Everybody has to get out of that state. He's going to probably be the long snapper. Bubba Hampton, who basically showed up injured, played just a little bit, and I think got hurt again. I think he tore his ACL later in the year in practice. He is going to be out. Cavante Henry, junior college transfer that came in early. He's not going to do much, if anything, in the spring. Domani Jackson, who you already mentioned, Scott, we've already mentioned Deontay Lawson and Danny Lewis. And then Sab, we all know about Sab.
Yes.
I mean, he had a broken foot, basically. He's still coming back from that. And then the guys that will have, limited work and no contact, guys like Justin Jefferson, another inside backer who got another year of eligibility, Caden Proctor, who you mentioned already, and then one that we weren't really aware of, James Smith, who's being counted on to maybe be that alpha dog in the defensive line room. He will be limited in the spring as well.
All right, so there you go. A little Alabama football spring update as the first practice underway yesterday. No update on the quarterback situation.
I was asked that by the time about an hour after the first practice was supposed
no
to
update.
Yeah, that guy asked me, said, "What have you heard from practice?" I said, "Have you heard anything?" I said, "No, sir."
There's nothing to tell right now.
It's one practice. So he's like, "Dang it!"
Yeah, Ty Simpson's transferring.
Yeah,
he didn't get the starting job, so he's gone.
This gentleman's a big Ty Simpson guy, so I guess he was hoping I would tell him that he threw 4 touchdowns and no incompletions and lit it up.
Let's go
against air, by the way.
Well, yeah, because I mean, yesterday you're literally against air. You're not doing anything.
Yeah, it looked like Milroe threw well against air in the combine, but everybody knew that. So,
well, look, and I'll say this, and okay, I'll after we get back from break, I'll talk about that because I have a thought, an opinion on that one.
Yeah.
Let's get Brandon in real fast before we get to a break. Good morning, Brandon.
Morning, Brandon.
Morning. Well, softball season starts today in Alabama, which is stark contrast over here in Georgia where we play it in the fall. And
right,
I think I like it better in the spring than in the fall because of the coolness of the beginning, and it's not got just blistering hot by the middle of the season or when it even begins.
Shoot, I think we're 2 weeks. I think I think softball's been going on for a couple weeks.
Yeah. I mean,
a couple weeks now.
Softball and baseball started
about
a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, the Garden's first game today is at Cedar Bluff.
Well, and they had to wait because pretty much their entire team plays.
Yeah, a lot of your small schools, your 1As and 2As.
Yeah, they have to wait.
They have to wait,
no doubt.
And you were talking about facilities earlier. I'm telling you, man, some of these baseball teams that are going places this year with, like you were talking about, the Big 12 and stuff.
Yeah,
they're going to find out where all the money at these schools go to. And it ain't to the baseball stadium for a lot of them.
No, and some of the schools, the baseball stadiums are very, very, very small.
Yes.
I mean, they don't put a lot into them.
Could you imagine flying from California to one of these places and getting here and being at a high school stadium?
Well, that's basically what Scott and I were talking about, and trust me, we've got some high school facilities around here that are really nice. I don't know because I've heard people talk about that. Like they talked about how, wow, I went from high school to college and the facilities were worse in my college situation than what I played with in high school.
Well, and we ran into that over here. You play softball games and you don't even have lights, and something happens and the game goes into the dark and people are out there shining their dang headlights trying to keep the game going so you can see something.
Right.
Never fun. And I want to throw a stat out at you.
Sure.
Last year, there were only 28 complete games pitched in the major league season. And in 1988, they were 622. Sabermetrics has ruined baseball.
Metrics.
Roll Tide.
All right. Thanks, Brandon.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Let's get our break in. When we come back, we will wrap up our number one. It's Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Got a wreck in Decatur, 6th Avenue at Ninth Street. That one's got some northbound blockage. I haven't heard a report of any injury there. They cleared on that vehicle fire, 600 block of 10th Avenue in Decatur. They've been gone from that one for a while now. Expert heart care backed by advanced technology. When you need cardiac care, you need the heart doctor. Dr. Randall Burns and the team at Huntsville Heart Specialist on Bob Wallace Avenue. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Conference USA is bringing its premier basketball event back to the Rocket City. Don't miss the 2025 Conference USA Basketball Championships, March 11th through the 15th at the VBC Probst Arena, featuring 20 men's and women's basketball teams playing 18 games with CUSA titles and NCAA automatic bids on the line. Find out who's going to be putting on their dancing shoes. Tickets as low as $40. Visit Ticketmaster.com today to experience Conference USA hoops in the Rocket City, March 11th through 15th.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
The Drive.
Both those guys have done a good job in what we've asked them to do, and both of them have developed nicely, and both of them have consistently made plays.
Wes and Steve.
Their decision making, their judgment, their ability not to force things and take what the defense gives and distribute the ball with good decision making, down in, down out, is probably the only thing that's going to be any different about them, because it's not physical ability or talent. So it's intangibles, leadership, decision-making, judgment, and all those types of things. And, both guys have done a good job in that regard as well.
Listen to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton each weekday afternoon starting at 5. We are your home of ESPN Radio, 97.7 The Zone.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
You guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama, located online at universitykia.com.
I would agree with that. All right, welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. Welcome back in a 7:51. Coming up at the top of the hour, head coach Alan Sharp going to join us.
Historic day.
We're going to talk a little UAH women's basketball.
Because I'm rocking the blue here.
You are rocking the blue.
Right.
You are rocking the blue.
Shulman would ask why I never did that.
Let's see here.
I've done it before. Just probably he doesn't remember.
So you mentioned Jalen Milrose looking good during the combine.
I mean, everybody looks
air.
good throwing to air, though.
Here's the thing, and I take the combine with a grain of salt.
Right, me too.
Because half of the people up there take it with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is just the beginning. The Senior Bowl starts the whole thing.
Yeah, the Senior Bowl is
then you have the combine.
Right.
The combine is more about meetings than anything else.
Now, if you test well, it helps you.
It does help you.
You can help yourself. It's you help yourself more than you hurt yourself with.
But
the
you also
combine.
have pro days coming out of this anyway.
Yeah, because that's why some don't like the Shedeur Sanders of the world.
Yes,
and Cam Ward's why they only interview and they don't do anything. But Jalen Milroe needed to participate because he was so bad. The week of the Senior Bowl. I mean, you have to. The week of practice wasn't great, and then the game stunk, and so you've got to go. You got to do as much as you can. You've got to interview, and you've got to go out and. He'll have a pro day as well. I'll have a pro day, I'm sure, at Alabama. You got to go out and perform, and a couple guys that helped themselves for Alabama. That we'll see if they get drafted. When the process in the Senior Bowl began, I didn't think they would get drafted. One of them, I believe, C.J. Dupree was at the Senior Bowl. I don't think Robbie Oots was, but both of them got invited to the combine, and both tested very well. Probably one of the top two tight ends. As far as from the combine that tested well with strength and speed and things of that nature. They didn't, especially CJ Dupree. I think he ran like a 4.7.
Right.
I wished he had touched the ball more, but of course at times he needed a sack. So, you have to catch it and not let it hit you in the face. But it's also, you got in his defense, his quarterback didn't get in the football probably enough. Probably, you have to be able to go through progressions and make reads. And then Oots, we all know about Oots. He was more of an H, a flex, a guy that can play fullback and tight end. I do think Oots will probably not get drafted, but I think he did well enough in the testing to get an invite to camp. And you got to go with it. You got to find a squad like a 49ers who still use fullbacks and tight ends. And some still do. And you just got to kind of, and then of course, special teams, you got to make yourself valuable on that side of the ball.
Right.
So I think both of them helped it themselves. So we'll see. But certainly the combine, as you said, Scott, is more, about the interview process, meeting organizations and things of that nature. Now, you can still help yourself with some of the 40 times. Like
you can get noticed.
Well, Jihad Campbell helped himself too. I gotta give him a shout out.
Right.
Because he ran a 4.52, Scott. I would have guessed 4.6. And I know, and that's still fast for a freaking 240-pound linebacker. But when you run for a 4.52, he's going to go in the top 15. At least
but if you struggle at the combine, it's not the end of the world. You're not falling off the face of the earth. And remember, last year, and Sean Payton has even gone on record in the last couple of weeks and have said that when they went to the combine, Bo Nix was not even on their radar.
Mm-hmm.
When they left the combine, Bo Nix was not even on their radar. It was until after the combine, when he went through his workouts and his pro day and more meetings, that Bo Nix started becoming a clearer picture for them and was put on their radar. So the combine is just a beginning of the process. We have got another month before we get to the draft. Long time. A lot of things can happen, and a lot of more pro days, a lot more meetings, and a lot more agent Johnson. And remember, lots of that stuff too. When you start reading stuff of the combine, agents are very, very good. Remember, Mike Detillier has told us agents are very, very good and they will get a name out there and they will start spinning things to get somebody moved up and down the board faster as well. So agents have a lot to do with that. 256-576-4977. It's the number to the phone lines. We are just about done with hour number one. And when we do come back, Alan Sharp will join us. Mick Hedgespeth will join us in hour number two as well. It is a big, big night inside Spraggins Hall. Not one, but two basketball games for just the second time in school history. I thought it was the first, but during the COVID year, or that COVID year, the UAH women under Andrea Lemon hosted.
They did, because I remember Steve Moulton calling that game.
They hosted a first round game. They were the 4 seed. Montevallo was the 5 seed.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, Alexis Woods in that game hit the game winning shot.
Mm-hmm.
Alexis Woods leaves the program, goes to Samford, comes back this year, and is now once again helping guide the Chargers to a first-round home playoff game, this time against Auburn Montgomery, who, by the way, has Andy Flatguard on the team, who was part of the team last year with the UAH Chargers. So,
gotcha.
Just in case you wanted to follow along. And then the men are going to play Lee and old Bubba Smith. We like Lee.
Yeah.
They'll play them at 8:30. Are you coming out there? 7:30. Are you coming out there tonight?
I hope so. I hope to come out there and avoid the weather and be inside.
Don't get blown away.
Yeah. So I'm hoping to be able to watch both of these squads. And I did start remembering that last night because I remember the Sam Morf's now wife making a big steal in that game late in the game. And I but correct me if I'm wrong. Emmeline Payne. I think originally that game would have been at Samford, but I think because of COVID.
they don't actually UAH did get to play. That was the year they canceled the NCAA tournament.
Right.
They made it through the Gulf South Conference. We had the Gulf South Conference tournament.
Right.
But after that, everything was canceled, and UAH never got to play their NCAA tournament game at Lee. Because Steve and I were set to go. We were ready to go. We were going to make the drive to Lee and then make the drive down to Nova after the Lee game. Never got to do it.
Yeah, because of Dr. Dumbass.
Hour two next.
This is Brent Musburger's BSIN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. AI-powered betting models to help you make sharper picks during March Madness. Free 7-day trial available now at rhythm.com. That's RITHMM.com.
North Alabama advances to the semifinals of the Atlantic Sun Tournament with a 90-64 win at home over Austin Peay last night. North Alabama hosting Jacksonville in the semifinal round on Thursday at Flowers Hall. Jacksonville advanced with a 78-67 win over Eastern Kentucky at home last night, covering as 2.5-point favorites. Lipscomb, the favorite to win the Atlantic Sun Tournament title at -200. North Alabama +250. Top-ranked Auburn Tigers visiting Texas A&M in Southeastern Conference basketball today. The Tigers are the 5.5-point road favorite. For more, go to VSIN.com.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you. Hour number 2 brought to you by our good friend, SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, the official medical providers for the UAH Chargers. And coming up tonight inside Spraggins Hall, they will be there. We will be there. The UAH Chargers will be there. UAH taking on Auburn Montgomery. AUM tonight on the women's side, 5:30. Quarterfinal round of the 2025 Gulf South Conference Women's Basketball Championships. And the UAH Chargers, how about this? A program history for the regular season, 23-5, 18-4 in Gulf South Conference play.
Yes.
Matched the program record for wins in a season. They've already matched that. They've had their best record in GSC play in team history. Team history with the 18 wins.
Yeah, it's been a tremendous first season for Coach Alan Sharp and these ladies. I mean, 23-5. I mean, wow. It's got to be GSC Coach of the Year. I'm going to honk that horn there.
Oh, that's without a doubt.
It's got to be a lock. And now he's taking the ladies to Super Tuesday. They will host for the second time. Because we were talking about that before we went to break with Emmeline Payne and that group who beat Montevallo in a classic game. But they will be taking on Auburn Montgomery tonight. And we're going to talk some UAH Lady Charger basketball with the future Gulf South Conference Coach of the Year, Alan Sharp, who's been good enough to join us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. I hope you don't mind us foreshadowing that for you, Coach.
It's got to happen.
I know. I appreciate you saying that. I tell you, sometimes you just listed all those things that we've done this year. And I was like, wow, have we done all that? Sometimes as a coach, you get so caught up in getting to the next practice and getting to the next game. And sometimes you forget to stop and really appreciate what's going on. And we have a time or two this year. But I appreciate you guys saying those kind words.
Well, Coach, I'll be honest with you. I feel like I was at your press conference like 2 weeks ago. So I can't believe you've already gotten through a regular season and won 23 games. I was talking to Ronnie Stapler. We were both there. We were super excited about the direction, and then snap your fingers and 23 wins later. So, again, congratulations to you and the ladies.
Yep, I know. Appreciate you. It's like, the older you get, it seems like the faster the time goes by. And what's the old saying? The days are slow, but the years go by fast. And you look up, and here we are. We're at the end of the season, and what a season we've had. It's been. I tell you this. I told whoever that was. I did the TV deal the other day.
Yes.
Before the game at West Alabama, because it was the last regular season game, I talked to the team before the game, and I just told them how much. In 25 years of coaching, probably my most enjoyable year I've ever had. And, of course, winning has a lot to do with that. But I have really enjoyed it. When I took this job, I was uncertain. I was unsure the direction of my career and what's going on. But, boy, I don't regret it one bit now.
Is there a game, Coach, this season that kind of stands out maybe the most to you? Because you said, sometimes you get caught up in the games, you get caught up in preparing, you get caught up in everything. But is there a game to you that stands out that you can look back and say, you know what? I kind of think that we're headed in the right direction, that this team has something about it. It can be special, but we just got to overcome maybe one or two more things. But is there a game that stands out to you the most?
There was one. The one that comes to mind is at West Florida, whatever time that was, midway through,
back in January,
into the second half of the season.
Yeah.
We had probably already lost to Lee and Union both once, and are we tough enough to really win a tough game, and especially on the road? And in West Florida, I think they finished 4th and have a good team. And we were down for the count at West Florida down there, whatever it was, down 7 going into the 4th quarter, and toughed it out and grinded it out. And after we finished that game, I told them, and we talked about it as a staff, like, all right, we're okay. I think we can do it. We won a tough game. We came from behind, handled the adversity of that game, and felt like it just kind of clicked and gained some confidence that we can win a close game. That game at West Florida was, I feel like, was a game changer for us.
January the 25th, 69-65. Yep. Big time comeback win. And Coach, I know that and I'll just be honest, Scott and I were able to see you coaching in your future home gym, arena there at Spraggins Hall last year when you were coaching at Wall State. You were coaching the men and the women, and we could see the energy when you were coaching the women's team that they nearly came very close to winning a state championship. I know the men you did to move on to the national tournament, but we could tell how much you were enjoying coaching those ladies. And so I think none of us are surprised at how much you've enjoyed coaching this group of women.
It's different. It's just in my personal experience, it's the girls seem to buy into their role so much easier. There's a lot more team spirit. They seem to be much more team-oriented. I also mentioned the other day how much respect I have for – there's 4 of them. There's Elise Hughes, Shauna Fletcher, Jessie Jennings, and Bella Machin is in the rotation a little bit. But I have so much respect for those kids because they played more of a role last year at UAH. Not much of a role this year, but you would never know it. Tremendous team spirit, pull for their teammates from the bench, have the juice every day at practice. And it would be really hard to find that where I've been with my experiences on the guys' side. It's just been, I can coach. I don't have to deal with off the court issues. I don't have to worry about their grades. I don't have to worry about body language. I don't have to worry about attitudes. I don't have to fight them every day. And I just get to coach, and it's really been a good experience for me. And like I said earlier, I don't regret it one bit.
Well, now, Coach, comes the hard part, and that is trying to control the emotions and everything. And it's playoff basketball is a whole lot different than regular season basketball, but it's just a game, and it's played in the exact same time as a normal game, but you also got to control your emotions a little bit. How do you kind of temper some of those emotions tonight? Because it is a big night.
It is. And I've kind of struggled with this last couple of days because our team takes on the reflection of the coach. And I'm pretty steady. I'm not ever too high and ever too low, just pretty steady. We just kind of go into practice. We do our job. We get done and get out of there. And the last couple of days, I've been like, okay, girls, come on, like let's this tournament time, like let's pick it up, let's get into it a little bit more. But in reality, they're probably just taking on the reflection of me, where let's just show up, we get after it, we get our work done. So I don't worry about that right now. Maybe when the lights come on tonight and the popcorn's popping and we got a really good crowd, there may be a little bit of nervousness from the girls, but they've been pretty steady about their approach. And, we've always said that the biggest game of the year is the next one. And, it just so happens that this is the next one. Now, it is of significance to this game because it's tournament time, but, it didn't matter if it was the first game of the year or if it was the next practice. It's a big day for us, and we'll be prepared.
Well, and then we were talking about this off the air, Coach, before you came on. You've got a senior leader there in Alexis Wood. She's actually been made the winning basket to win a game like this for UAH. How much do you lean on her when she's been in a game like this, which you're trying to advance to Samford to play in the semifinals and potentially go on to a regional into postseason play?
Lex, along with Haley, have been really good for us because as we get into the second half of the season, I mean, if you know our personnel, really, Lily's about the only one that can bounce it and get a bucket. So they really have done a good job. Our opponents have done a good job taking away the 3-ball, keeping us out of paint where we can't drive and kick. So having someone like Lex that we can just throw it to in the post and get us a bucket is a huge advantage to us. And it's something that's hard to come by on the women's side and on the men's side, having a post player that you can throw it to them with their back to the basket and they can score it. So she's bailed us out a lot this year, her and along with Haley, that give us a presence in the paint that we can throw it to, that we can rely upon if they cover up our guards pretty good on the perimeter.
It's also a challenge tonight. Auburn Montgomery comes to town, and it's never easy to beat a team 3 times in a season. Never easy.
No, it's not. But at least we beat them twice. It could be worse if it was the other way. But we did beat them here at our place early in the year, pretty good, and then I think we ended up beating them 20 at their place. They do pose problems for us now. You can look at us when we run out there now. We're not very big. I use the old saying, the joke, like, we're small but we're slow. You know what I mean? So we're not very impressive when we run out there. But AUM poses some problems now. They have tremendous size and they're physical in the paint, and they're us or them is we're at first or second in the league in offensive rebounding. The interior and the paint and the being able to block them off is going to be an issue. And it was at their place when we just played them recently. Number 3 for them, first or second, along with Lily Wilkin in the league in scoring. She's a good player, and Bella White's going to have to really do a good job on her. So we'll see that they have their thing. They have their aspects to their roster and their game that pose problems to us.
Mm-hmm. And Coach, what are the where do you think are you satisfied with that you've done enough to get into the regional tournament, or do you want to just keep stacking wins? You want to win a GSC championship, first of all, a tournament, but where is your squad at right now in your mind
to get into the region?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that last one was 6. I think it's okay. I think it's all right. I feel
it seems that way.
It does, and you never know. I'll tell you a short story. You never know. There was one of those years at West Alabama, and maybe in my last year, like, who has a selection party? Like, when you have a selection party, like, you pretty much know you're going to get in.
Right.
We had a selection party one year at West Al. We had a selection party and didn't get in. Like, it was a slam dunk. We were in. We had a selection party and didn't get in. So you never really, really know, but being 6th and what's happened above us this last week, I feel like if we can get this one done with AUM, pretty solid chance we're going to get in.
Well, Coach, lay it out for us tonight. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We'll have the game for you. A couple keys out there tonight.
Yeah, we got to shoot the ball well. They play zone. They play kind of a matchup zone. If we can spread the floor out, if we can drive it, we can kick it. If we can see the ball go in the hole early, I like our chances. Hopefully we can have a good crowd. That helps, especially when that ball goes in the hole. We get a little momentum going. Guarding number 3 for them is an issue. Keeping them off the glass is a huge issue. But if we can take care of those things, I feel like I like our chances.
Well, and it would be a huge first step in year 1 to be able to get to that semifinal and compete for a championship, Coach, I would think.
Yeah, no doubt about it. If we took this thing over and took this job, and some people have asked, well, how'd you do it? And a lot of times it's just, it's an expectation.
Mm-hmm.
It's an expectation to win. It's an expectation to be consistent in how we practice every day. They said at one point there when I was interviewing, they said, well, Coach Sharp, what's your 5-year plan for the UNH women's job? I don't have a 5-year plan. I don't know. It's year 1, man. Year 1. We're going to get it turned and get it on the right track. And it's a credit to the girls. They've made it easy by buying in. It's a credit to them.
How has recruiting gone? I know you are going. There's going to be some new faces next year. I mean, Alexis will depart. Haley Nichols
with her social security check.
Yep. Jesse Jennings obviously moves on, but I mean, there's some familiar faces. Hopefully coming back next year. I mean, Lily Wilkin, Mia Hollingsworth.
Well,
great start. Millie Brown
sounds like it's very strong early.
Yeah,
so you're gonna have an experienced group. It sounds like, Coach.
Yeah, we will. And there's a strong possibility Haley Nichols has another year.
Oh,
really?
There we go.
Really?
Yeah. There's a strong possibility she's going to come back. So,
wow.
It's pretty good. We could not sign anyone. We could not sign anyone and line up and still be competitive. Now, we'll have a ton of returners probably. So can we sprinkle in just one or two difference makers? We need one more.
Selective there.
Yeah. Very, very picky about what we're going to take. Now, we're not just going to take anybody, but we need another one like a Lily, which is a tall task, but just another one that can kind of bounce it, that can kind of create their own shot, just kind of a ball player. We need one of those, and we need another, like a 4-man, because, Lily plays the 4 a lot for us, and if we could get a 4-man that's a little taller, a little longer, that shoots the 3, we can get Lily to more of a guard spot. That would be ideal as well. But we did sign early in the good player from Good Hope High School, Ava McSwain. She'll be an incoming freshman, but that's the only one. So the plan is maybe let's add 2, maybe 3 kind of difference makers, probably a transfer, but you want to make sure it's the right fit. But if we can get the right fit, I feel like our talent level, we can take this thing on up another notch.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt. And Good Hope, very good program. Finishes the runner-up in 4A, and they got a really good girls program over there. Fun to watch. So that David McSwain will be a quality addition. And some other breaking news out of Coleman County, Coach. I was just sent this link. Tammy West, longtime state championship coach at Cold Springs, great coach. She sounds like she's moving on up to Coleman. So it sounds like
I heard that.
Yeah,
I heard that. I know it. They must have wrote. They got the money right. They had to get the money right to get her out of Cold Springs.
That's right. Now she's an institution there, really.
You're not kidding. What she's done around there, the weight she carries. Her name, the weight that she carries with her name around there.
No question.
She's done a lot. So congratulations to her.
Well, Coach, I haven't even had a chance to even ask you yet. What were your emotions like on Thursday going back to West Alabama?
Yeah, it was.
Like the mayor returning to Mayberry. That's what I heard.
No, it was odd. It was odd. I walked by what was my locker room. I felt like I need to turn into that locker room. Like, no, I can't go in that locker room. I had to go on down to the visitors' locker room. It was neat. It was really neat. It saw some familiar faces and saw a couple old team pictures back there in the hallway of teams that were Gulf South Conference champs, and so it was neat, but I wouldn't trade it. I'm happy right where I am.
Well, we certainly are happy for you, and we are already stumping for your Coach of the Year award.
We are. We're giving it to you regardless. At least in this building, you have it regardless.
We already have. We don't have a trophy anymore. We lost our paper.
We don't have anything to give you.
Yeah,
but
we had something.
We're giving you the award.
No, I would have needed a dolly to get it to you, though. I don't know if I could have got it down the stairs. But we look forward to seeing you tonight, Coach. Good luck to the ladies, and heck of a season so far, 23-5 UAH Lady Chargers. But appreciate you talking some UAH Lady Chargers this morning.
You got it, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Coach Alan Sharp, kind enough to join us. And like I said, yes, we've given him the Coach of the Year award. We just need the conference to give it to him now as well.
So. I don't know if it'll be as heavy as the one that we had, though. That was for the women, the Conference USA.
Well, it's for the men, too. Yeah, it's the one that we had for the women.
We had the
identical one for the men.
2 50-pound-plus trophies.
Yes.
That they're giving away on dollies.
Yes. It's going to it's going to break in. 256-576-4977.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got to slow down eastbound on 565 as you approach Research Park. I haven't heard of an accident in there. It may just be volume of traffic. We did pick up a new accident on Governors right about California. They're reporting it as northbound. Officers, construction workers, and first responders put their lives on the line every time they step on the roadway. You can make it safer for them. Slow down or move over. It's the law. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of iconic casinos, world-class shows, dining, and entertainment. Las Vegas. With flights starting as low as just $79, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Las Vegas. Book nonstop to Las Vegas now at flybreeze.com.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at GenSuperstore.com.
Auburn basketball coach Bruce Pearl has a challenge for you.
Be an MVP to a child in need by opening your heart, opening your home, and becoming a foster or adoptive parent in Alabama. I know so many folks that are. They tell me it's one of the greatest things they've ever done.
To learn more about becoming a foster or adoptive parent, visit dhr.alabama.gov. That's dhr.alabama.gov. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Human Resources, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and the station.
There are many adults in Alabama who cannot take care of themselves. Some of them need foster homes. The Alabama Department of Human Resources has a critical need for caring men and women to provide safe and supportive homes for vulnerable adults. Make a difference in someone's life. Be an adult foster care provider because love never ages. For more information, visit dhr.alabama.gov/AFC. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Human Resources, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Want to save some money?
I can take money and I can make it into more money.
Just check out our zone deals online at 977ESPN.com. We are 977 ESPN The Zone.
There you go. Welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, DeArmond. Welcome back in on what is today? A Tuesday morning. 8:23 on said Tuesday. And earlier in the show, I did bring up that the NCAA tournament, since it reseeded or expanded in 85, 25 of the 39 national championships have been won by a 1 seed, 5 by a 2 seed. 13 of the past 17 title winners have come from the top line. It's kind of interesting since you look at the projections, and right now Alabama flirting with that 1-2 spot, Auburn securely locked in at a number 1,
Duke
Florida not locked in, but Florida battling for a number 1 spot. Duke is locked in at a number 1 spot. And you look at the field and you look at that bracket,
Houston
potential bracket, I should say. Yes, Houston beats Kansas. Houston probably a number 1.
I'll go ahead.
Put all of them in the pot.
All right.
Put Alabama, put Auburn, put Duke, put UConn or Houston, put Florida in there. That's 5 teams potentially that you could say. Is that it? I mean, is that the field? I mean, judging by the numbers, is that the field for the potential national champions this year?
We'll see, but I'm just going to say for the 1 seed, some people have said Houston was a lock. I don't know about that yet because they did lose to Alabama head-to-head. Now, if Houston wins the Big 12 tournament, I do think they have a very strong chance to be one of those number 1 seeds. But right now, the only 2 to me that are locked up are Auburn, the number 1 overall seed, and then Duke, who's they've just run roughshod through the ACC. I mean, they have one loss. It was on the road by 6 at Clemson. They've also lost to Kansas and Kentucky. They really, if you look at their schedule in the ACC, Scott, I think they've had a 10-point win over NC State at home, and then a 6-point win on the road at Wake Forest, who they just turn around and beat by 30 last night inside of Cameron. They really haven't had close games in the ACC. It's just been a bunch of beat downs. Now we'll see what happens at UNC, because UNC may very well be playing for their lives.
Right.
I mean, they're dangerously on the bubble with Joe Lunardi. In, out. You never know. So we'll see what happens with them. But I think what with the teams you just started talking about, I think Houston from the Big 12, and then really 3 SEC teams, Alabama, Florida, and Tennessee, are all kind of fighting it out for those last couple of 1 seeds.
Right.
I don't think anybody is locked in as far as 3 of them yet. I think 2 of them have separated themselves, but the other 2 spots are wide open for how you finish your regular season, because Alabama, if they could knock themselves, to the 2 slot, no question, if they can't beat Florida. But if they beat Florida and then you're playing with house money at Auburn, Alabama is still very much in the 1 seed conversation. Florida, same deal. If they beat, Alabama on Wednesday and then finish out the regular season and then go to Nashville and make a run. And then Tennessee, Lunardi, we mentioned that this morning, his latest bracket, he did have Tennessee coming out of the weekend, moving up to that 1 line.
Yes.
So they very much are in that conversation, yet they have to go to Ole Miss. So we will see. Now, Houston got a big win last night on Senior Day. They beat Kansas at home. So Kansas is not what they have been, but that's still a quality win for Houston. So to me, though, I think there's basically 4 teams for 2 slots for those 1 seeds, because I think the SEC is so much stronger than the other Big 4 leagues.
Joe Lunardi yesterday,
right?
He did a conference breakdown just of the Big 3, ACC, the Big 12, and the SEC. So he has 10 locks right now for the SEC.
And I do too. Vanderbilt
10
being
locks.
the 10th. Yeah.
12 total and 2 on the bubble.
Okay, now that's where I can't see the SEC getting 12 would be the absolute max if someone could make a run in Nashville.
Right.
But I still see 11. And
So
I
he
still
has
see Georgia with the best opportunity right now.
Auburn, Tennessee, Alabama, Florida, Kentucky, Texas A&M, Missouri, Mississippi, Ole Miss, and Vanderbilt as the locks.
I do too.
Georgia, he has them as an 11 seed, 41st overall.
In other words, that's probably in the first 4.
Arkansas, last 4 in, number 45 overall.
And if they can beat Vanderbilt on the road and then beat Mississippi State at home, I would say yes.
Well, we thought they would have beaten South Carolina.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm not even sure they're going to win either one of them, and I hope they don't.
And then
get rid of them.
Go
hit it. And I don't see Texas getting enough wins. Oklahoma has the best chance.
Okay, he has Oklahoma and Texas both as first team outs. He has Oklahoma a first team out, Texas as a first 4 out. He has Oklahoma 69th overall and Texas as 72nd overall. Now, by the Oklahoma, Arkansas, he has arrows going down.
I agree with that.
He has no arrow by Texas. So that means they're stagnant. That means
I think they suck already.
But he also has a down arrow for Ole Miss as well. He has them as an 8 seed.
Right.
So could Ole Miss play themselves out of a lock over the next few No.
Texas and Oklahoma can play themselves on out of the tournament, and Arkansas actually
how are they hanging around?
Well, because they've got 2 games left against teams that are already in. And if they can beat them, if they could wake up, now they need Thero back. I don't know if they'll have him back, but they need to wake the hell up. I mean, they mailed in the South Carolina game, but you go to Vandy. I don't think they're going to win that game, but you never know. I didn't think they'd win in Rupp, and they sure as hell did. And then they host Mississippi State. And Mississippi State has been kind of Jekyll and Hyde here, but they're in the tournament. If you beat two teams that are in the tournament, you should be in the tournament. I will say that.
Yes.
If Arkansas can get to 19-12 and they bounce back from that debacle against South Carolina, then you're in at 19-12. But they've got to win, in my opinion.
You've talked about how bad the ACC is.
It's bad.
So how many locks do you think Joe Lunardi has right now for the ACC?
Duke, Clemson, Louisville. Because Wake Forest is just, they're 12-6, but they're not very good. I mean, Duke just hammered them. I would say maybe North Carolina and then SMU are probably both on the bubble.
3 locks.
That's the 3 locks I just said.
Duke, Clemson, and Louisville.
I knew that. And
he has 3 total, 3 on the bubble, Carolina, Forest, and SMU.
So he does still have Wake Forest. I wouldn't
on
have
the
them
bubble.
on the
They're
bubble.
on the next 4 out, though. The next 4 out. So they're
Wake Forest has whimpered down the stretch.
But how bad is that for the ACC?
They're bad.
3 teams as a lock for what people call the perennial power basketball conference in America.
Flipped, Scott. Like 12 years ago, this was the SEC that was sitting there with 1 to 2, maybe 3, and the ACC ruled the world.
Yes,
and now
the ACC's ruled the world forever.
They stink in everything.
Forever.
They haven't stunk forever, but I'm just
saying.
saying.
The ACC has ruled college basketball's world, at least when it comes to tournament time. Now, the Big Ten has been a darling for the last couple years.
Yeah.
The Big Ten has been a darling. Big 12, 6 locks.
Well, I just don't. I think the Big Ten is really solid, but I don't know if they have anybody that's a 1 seed. Like last year,
Michigan State is a 2 seed.
Michigan State's the closest.
Yes, that's it.
I mean,
let's get a break in. I know this has been fun.
It has.
Talking
to the Gulf South Conference coach of the year, and if he's not, just completely just ban the conference office.
Well, I don't know. Is a 22-game conference win streak good enough to get you conference of the year?
Both of them are coach of the year, for crying out loud.
Going undefeated in conference play, is that good enough to get you conference coach of the year?
You're 40-4 between the 2 teams.
He's got
God's sake.
He's got a 96% winning percentage in his first year.
We're going to call him coach of the year too.
All right, let's get a break in. Mick Hedgepeth joins us next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly clouded, overcast sky this afternoon. Going to be incredibly windy across the Tennessee Valley. A line of showers and thunderstorms is going to move through the Tennessee Valley this evening, and then as we head into the overnight, within that line of thunderstorms, could be winds gusting 60 to 70 locally. Temperatures drop into the upper 40s, lower 50s as we head into the overnight, early into Wednesday morning. Otherwise, a mostly cloudy sky Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-50s, and once again, we are talking about some breezy conditions across the Tennessee Valley. A partly sunny sky on Thursday. Temperatures hanging out in the low 50s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a wreck on 53 southbound at Douglas Road. We got one 565 eastbound at Research Park. That's what's causing that backup, although it appears to be moving a little better now. And we got 227 northbound at 431 in Guntersville. No hose, no mask. Dr. Sandman has the medically proven benefits of the Somnodent for sleep apnea and for snoring. You can call Dr. Sandlin at 350-CARE. Captain Neck in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Conference USA is bringing its premier basketball event back to the Rocket City. Don't miss the 2025 Conference USA Basketball Championships March 11th through the 15th at the VBC Probst Arena, featuring 20 men's and women's basketball teams playing 18 games with CUSA titles and NCAA automatic bids on the line. Find out who's going to be putting on their dancing shoes. Tickets as low as $40. Visit Ticketmaster.com today to experience Conference USA hoops in the Rocket City, March 11th through 15th.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time?
or even show up at all, I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
This is Steve Moulton from 97.7 ESPN The Zone, and this is What's Happening. Be sure and download our app. Just search 977 ESPN in your Google Marketplace or your Apple Store, depending on your device, so you can take us wherever you might go. And you can also check out our latest zone deals. Head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. The top left banner reads, "Savings never tasted so good." Click on that, then enter in the Big Zone Deals store for half-off zone deals of Lawler's Barbecue, Cecil, Carrabba's Italian Grill, Bubby's Diner, Corlejos Mexican Grill, Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, Divergence, Full Moon Barbecue, Bigfoot Little Donuts, Hickory Store Barbecue, Good Company Cafe, Apple Lane Farms, the Decatur location, and rounds of golf at Cherokee Ridge Golf Course and Gunter's Landing. And that's what's happening.
Online at 977ESPN.com.
Stream them online.
Call in.
It's an important job, and it's an fighting organization.
Tweet in and join in. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond, welcome back in. Top of the hour, we had head coach Alan Sharp of the women's program over at UAH on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, and we proclaimed him the Gulf South Conference Women's Coach of the Year. We handed him over our trophy, which
we don't have it anymore, but it's
but we've gave him the award.
Yeah.
And you know what? We're just going to go ahead and crown the men's coach of the year right now as well.
Well, if you've won 27 in a row, you didn't lose a friggin' Gulf South Conference game, I think you're coach of the year.
Well, we've seen some conferences do some dumb things.
Yeah.
And
especially the Big Ten.
Yes. I like the Big Ten still.
I know.
But anyway.
But you want a new coach yourself.
Yes, but they've done some dumb things.
Yeah. Right.
Gulf South Conference Coach of the Year, we're just going to proclaim him the Coach of the Year because you're right. You go undefeated in conference play.
Right.
You don't lose a road game all year during the regular season, and you've won 27 in a row.
Yeah, and you're coming off of an end of the regular season where you go to West Alabama and you basically only have to play your starters 28 minutes or less in the game. So they should be rested, should have their legs underneath them. And now you've got a big-time Super Tuesday matchup against Lee. No love lost between the two teams, and it's a Lee team that's can cause some issues and some problems. So you got to come out with your mind right. You already know you're in the NCAA tournament, but you're playing to for your seed. You're playing to at worst be the number 2 seed overall. You never know what's going to happen with Nova. They're a machine, but again, you're wanting to continue to stack wins and continue to play good basketball. And we're going to talk about that and more with Mick Hedgebeth, who's been kind enough to join us before this Super Tuesday as our Gulf South Conference Coach of the Year. There he is, Mick Hedgebeth. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Scott. Good morning, Drew. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate it. And I'll just go ahead and proclaim you guys the Alabama Sports Radio Show of the Year. How about that?
There we go. We got us a trophy. It was here for 3 or 4 days.
We don't get too many of
those.
those.
Heavy. Yeah. You know,
we don't get too many of that. But no, I mean, Coach, that if we're talking like that means that the regular season,
man, it flew by.
Yes, it flew by really fast. But that means you guys checked off a lot of boxes during that regular season.
Yeah, it was a special year, special regular season, and in some ways it it flew by. In some ways, when we just played at Montevallo last week, that's where we started our season against Nova and against Barry, and that seemed like a long time ago. A whole lot has transpired since then. So, it's been a whole lot of fun. Been a pleasure to coach these guys. I feel just incredibly grateful to be a part of it and a part of this group. And our goal from the very first team meeting was to be at our best and continue to get better and improve, so that we can be at our best at this time of year. And hopefully we're, starting to trend that direction.
Well, certainly we hope so. For me, it just seems like it flew by because I just went to your press conference. You had they introduced Coach Sharp, they introduced you, and it was my first chance to meet you. I certainly watched you play for Kurt Jonas at Crossville High School and watched you play in college, but I'd never met you. I knew you were in coaching, but it just seems like yesterday I shook your hand, introduced myself, and then the season was underway, and you guys have done so well. But I wanted to ask you, I know you brought him with you, from your previous stop at Barry, but did you ever envision how well that Blake Campbell has fit in with this group? Because, I mean, I know Jack Kossel moved on. He went to Chattanooga. They've had a good year, but, man, he's fit in so well with this group right from the jump.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll start with the press conference comment. My wife and I had our second daughter 3 days after that.
Yes, I remember.
Two under two, so that may be why the season seemed a little bit longer for me than for you guys.
Of course.
But no, Blake he's been a huge addition, and just a huge lift for our team. He provides an understanding after being with me for 2 years at Barry, just understood the terminology, the plays, some of the philosophy, and helped our older guys and our returners learn that and navigate that. I feel like he's been a great resource there all year. He fits right into UAH. He's a brainiac, engineering major. So this fits him on the floor as well as off the floor. But in terms of a player, I mean, he's 6'4", he's dynamic, he is sneaky athletic above the rim. He hasn't had to do a ton of it this year, but the last couple of years at Barry, he's really shot the ball well from three, and this year I think he's right at a 40% clip from three, even though it's not a ton of volume. He certainly, you have to respect him out there. And he's a good defender, so he's able to just provide a little bit of a different look, a bit of creation right when we need it. He leads our team in free throw attempts. He's a really, really good sneaky shot fake that has allowed him to get to the line and create advantages. So he's a guy that can really create a paint touch on his own without having to have a play called or a certain action, and that's really valuable.
2 under 2. So the real MVP is your wife this season. Is that right?
Oh, there is no doubt about that. She's a rock star and my best recruit of all time. That was a long recruiting process. We won't get into that. Kind of committed, not committed, but we got it done. So yeah, she's been amazing. Just the coaches' wives in general, just having to deal with us, and it's a hard profession to turn it off. Kind of always thinking about it, and getting calls at night and early in the morning, and on the road, 4-day road trips, and in all seriousness, it's pretty amazing. So very, very thankful for her holding down the fort and embracing being part of the team, right? Coming to practice,
yeah.
Hosting the team, being at games, just means a whole lot.
Well, Coach, tonight it ramps up a little bit. Tournament play. You've experienced this as a player. I mean, you experienced the regular season and then the tournament play. Just kind of talk about how different the regular season and tournament play is for those that think it's just another game.
It's interesting. This is my first in, let's see, 15 years of coaching or playing, this is my first conference tournament that wasn't do or die.
Wow.
Interesting.
So that's interesting. Even when I was a player at Belmont,
That's right.
Mid-major, had to win the tournament, one bid league. It was the same when I was a coach there. There's 450 teams in Division III, and 44 leagues, only 20 at-large bids. So it's just incredibly difficult to get one of those, just with the math there. But nevertheless, it is a different feeling. I know that I think the entire lower bowl is sold out tonight.
Awesome.
We've gotten a great crowd all year. I expect this to be our best crowd and best environment. So really looking forward to that. That's part of the postseason feel. And then you start playing these teams for a third time. That's a challenge. I think, like I said, we've really tried to be independent of results and focus more on process, growth mentality, that type of thing this year, which I feel like has been a good formula for us. But of course, we all want to win a conference tournament championship. So that's the goal. And I kind of want our guys to, I feel like we're at our best when we have that balance of being totally focused and determined and a business-like approach, but also having fun and being loose and playing with confidence. So I really hope we can have that approach tonight, because I feel like that's when we're at our best, and we're certainly going to need our best against a really good Lee team.
Well, and we kind of touched on Lee in our last conversation with you a few days ago, but I know now you and the coaching staff have been able to take an even deeper dive into them. Have they added some new things to the toolbox since you saw them both times in the regular season? Do you expect them maybe to come out with some things? We've talked to high school coaches before, like Tim Miller, who's had a lot of postseason success. He's always talked about maybe adding some things that you haven't seen on tape. Do you expect maybe a different approach from Lee?
I honestly don't think they have added a ton. There's certainly a little bit in terms of some set,
right?
Some different actions for certain guys defensively. Maybe they'll show zone, but they're in man, or go show zone, but they're man after two passes. Some different looks in that regard. I honestly just think they're a team that had some personnel modifications throughout the season, and it took them a little while, but when they really figured it out, when they figured out that right combination and subbing, it's incredible. Just throughout my career, thinking about how important that can be, and observing my own teams and different teams, and kind of finding that right combination. But I feel like they've done that, and then they've just gotten better and better at what they do. They have some really good individual pieces. They're really well balanced. They have, I believe, 5 guys averaging between 8 and 11 points. They're the number 1 scoring defense in the league, meaning they give up the fewest points, and they're also the number 1 opponent field goal percentage defense in the league. They give up 41.5% from the field. They really protect the paint. They're just, the more I watch them, they are as good, if not better, than anyone in our league at not allowing you, or maybe making it really difficult for you as an offense to create an advantage. And when you do create an advantage, we talk about 0.5 second decisions. If you have 2 on the ball and you kick it and there's a long closeout or whatever the case may be, you need to keep your advantage and keep the ball moving. If the ball gets sticky, the defense will get neutral in those situations, and then you're back to square one and have to create an advantage. They are hard to gain advantages and get them in scramble mode. So we really, and they stifled us at our place.
Yes, the 3-point game. That's right.
Yep.
I
mean, we really struggled. We scored 71 points. That was our lowest point total of the year. And not only that, obviously there's a battle of pace. We like to play faster than they do. but it was our least efficient game of the year from a points per possession standpoint. And some of that was us, but an awful lot of it was credit to them. So, it'll be a challenge for us to get quality looks and put some points on the board tonight.
Is there any difference? Because that last league game came off a stretch where it was 4 games in 4 days or 7 days, because it was the West Florida trip, the Valdosta, then Lee. It was a long trip. Now the difference is you guys have had a few days off. You've had a few days to rest. Have you sensed a little bit of energy coming back into the legs?
Sure. Yeah. I believe they were the Thursday of that swing. So we ended up, our game at Valdosta was changed from Thursday to Monday. So we played Saturday at West Florida, Monday at Valdosta, and then Thursday at home against Lee. But I don't want to make any excuses. Everyone has long, hard road trips and a lot of time on a bus, and sometimes that's just, we've had some really good draws this year where some teams are coming off stuff like that against us, or maybe we get the better end of the calendar. And you could argue last week is one of those. We played Thursday, we played Thursday, Saturday. But I do feel like we're hopefully a little bit more fresh. We were able to have Friday off. Saturday was more about us and what we need to improve on based on Thursday's game at West Al. And then Monday, we're all about Lee prep. And not to mention, it's a Lee team who's playing really well right now with a ton of confidence, as they should. They've won 4 out of 5. And they started the league 0-7.
Wow.
And then here they are. They're in last place. Now they're in. We're battling for 7th in the last regular season weekend. But they won at Trevecca. That's really a tough place to play. We were in a nail biter there. They beat Union at home, who is really talented and big and well coached, and gave us problems both times we played them. Coach Bubba Smith, he's done a great job there for a long time. They're a hard-nosed, defensive-minded team, and they also have some good scoring threats. They have 6 guys on their team who shoot 37% or above from 3. Brent Bowman off the bench was their leading scorer in their last game on Saturday against Union. He was their leading scorer against us. He can give you some problems. When you have kind of like Matt Thurman for us has been a big threat coming off the bench. He's kind of like that for them, and so they'll be a tough cover as well for us defensively.
Well, and to wrap it up, Coach, what do you got to do to win this game tonight? What are the keys in your mind?
Well, we have to value the ball. That's been a key for us all year, and I feel like it's certainly been up and down a little bit, but as the year has progressed, we've gotten better in that area, just with how active and physical they are. And, watching some of their games, they've turned some teams over, 8 or 10 times in the first half, just while they're getting accustomed to playing against their style. So we can't have a lot of empty possessions. From an offensive standpoint, I think that's key, along with doing a better job of creating advantages than we did the second time we played them. And then defensively, honestly, I would say we have to box out and finish possessions. Like, they are as good as any team I've seen they'll have a 20 to 25 or 28 second long possession. Your defense has done a good job guarding their 4 or 5 actions throughout that time period. They put up a shot, crash 3 guys, and get the rebound and scored. And it's just so deflating when that happens. So we've got to be really physical and go hold our ground, box out, and have 5 guys all go team rebound.
Well, we look forward to
right,
it, Coach. It's going to be a big-time atmosphere tonight over at Spraggins Hall. Steve and Scott on the call. Thank you for joining us, and good luck tonight, my friend.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for the support. We'll see you tonight.
Thanks. Mick Hedgespeth, kind enough to join us. We'll cash in that final break now.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation. But did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
We're done. No, seriously, we're done.
That's it. Okay. I didn't put my headset back on.
You didn't have it on for half of the show.
Well, first segment. We managed.
Well, I think we did just fine today.
I had to figure the equipment out over there.
2 hours. We did 2 hours.
Great conversations. It's going to be a big Super Tuesday over at Sprague & Talk. Come out and support them.
It's going to be a fun night.
Sounds like I'm going to be up in the bleachers.
Well, no, but that's where you normally would have to sit.
Well, yeah. I mean, usually behind Molton because they don't have the crow's nest or whatever the hell they used to call it.
No, I don't have that anymore.
All right.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Are you trying to find a new house? Are you trying to find the right loan, the right people to do your loan? Look no further than the Bank of Frank Ewing and Hazel Green. John Kendall, the Vice President of Mortgage with me. John,